Hey guys, so I've hurt my back and I'm resting. But instead of taking time off, you realize that particular task left me feeling somewhat drained. You're wearing your work boots and I have on the identical pair that you're sporting. There it is. I'm heading out quickly to the hardware store to fetch some nails and I need to pick up our skill saw as well. Therefore, I'm bringing you along with me. Bad Chad Customs previously seized global fascination through its astonishing vehicle makeovers. We're diving back into the action regarding what I've accomplished. We've observed the progress from yesterday. We removed the upper section of the door. We excised the post. However, scarcely anyone recognized that Jolene Macintyre was the individual who ensured seamless operations in the background. Past the dazzling illumination and countless millions of views exists a narrative that has never been disclosed prior to the disruptions. We haven't broadcast for 4 or 5 days. I'm pondering and the cause stems from certain issues in our idyllic setting. Internal conflicts and unspoken concessions that Jolene Macintyre tolerated for the purpose of triumph on the commercial front. Therefore, I must oversee all aspects to guarantee that funds are allocated appropriately. The reality concerning the lady who supports this bespoke automobile dominion will astonish numerous people. Jolene Macintyre and Chad Hiltz initially encountered each other at an occasion that appeared routine in Nova Scotia. Yet, that instance established the groundwork for one of the most audacious expeditions in the Canadian bespoke vehicle arena. While overseeing a neighborhood billiard establishment, Jolene Macintyre suddenly got a plea from Chad Hiltz, who was already prominent within the automotive circle, to assist in displaying flyers for the yearly Rockabilly Weekend Automotive Exhibition. From their inaugural dialogue, they uncovered a common enthusiasm for innovation, an intrepid attitude, and the desire to shatter conventions. Their bond developed swiftly, propelled not solely by personal attraction, but also by a joint aspiration to accomplish something extraordinary. Within a brief period, Jolene Macintyre transitioned from being merely Chad's companion to evolving into an essential commercial ally. She originated the concept to record the complete procedure of constructing the Bugatti Imitation, a vehicle that rapidly turned into the Italier's hallmark. This vehicle was constructed for Jolene. When I initially encountered Jolene was so stunning that I desired her to approach me. Commencing with basic recordings, captured on a mobile device, Jolene Macintyre progressively cultivated the online platform presence, formulated communication approaches, handled finances, supervised all offstage activities, and engaged immediately in both practical labor and the broader enterprise guidance. I aim to align this template correctly here. I got to have this straight. This unyielding dedication promptly elevated Hiltz Auto Company into an emerging luminary in the North American bespoke automotive society. Thanks to Jolene Macintyre's precise coordination, initiatives advanced and their artisan vehicles earned extensive acclaim. The label not only attracted patrons but also drew the interest of broadcast executives. Discovery Channel ultimately made contact, converting the odyssey of Jolene Macintyre and Chad Hiltz into a prominent reality television program. When Bad Chad Customs debuted in 2019, both individuals became central to worldwide coverage. 2 successive seasons catapulted Bad Chad Customs into a sensation. I constructed this facility because I was dismissed from every position I ever held. When I state I built the shop, I physically erected the shop. The program's Facebook adherence exceeded 1.6 million, whereas YouTube viewership attained 70 million monthly, generating millions of dollars each year. Jolene Macintyre served not only as the motivating power for every function, but also occupied the forefront, motivating females globally by demonstrating her capabilities in a demanding field dominated by males. Engagements at SEMA and the Grand National Roadster Show, coupled with alliances with prominent figures in the domain, magnified the label's influence and positioned Bad Chad Customs as an international frontrunner. Chad Hiltz has invariably been candid about their accomplishment, arising from his limitless imagination merged with Jolene Macintyre's administrative abilities, tactical foresight, and indefatigable diligence. Various detailed publications emphasized that Jolene Macintyre supplied the momentum for Chad to surpass his boundaries, transforming daring concepts into tangible outcomes. Sector analyses underscore her proficiency in managing emergencies, sustaining monetary circulation, organizing manufacturing timelines, and enduring societal scrutiny as vital components of their accomplishments. Jolene Macintyre's esteem has disseminated extensively, rendering her a beacon for youthful females universally and solidifying her status as a dauntless entrepreneur in a realm typically reserved for males. Her perspectives on existence, the strength of teamwork and reciprocal confidence have been broadly disseminated via online networking sites. Beneath the glare of attention and press scrutiny, Jolene Macintyre and Chad Hiltz erected a bespoke vehicle dominion that has entranced not merely Canada, but the worldwide technical fraternity. Dominating the broadcast realm, the triumph of Bad Chad Custom stems not exclusively from audacious notions or Chad Hiltz's expert carburetor crafting expertise. It additionally resides in those instances on screen depicting Jolene Macintyre boldly addressing obstacles daily. For countless spectators, she is not a figure in the shadows, but the intellect and the individual ensuring fluid operations regardless of situational complexity. From the inaugural season, Jolene Macintyre established her presence via sequences where she orchestrated functions, delegated duties, and controlled each budgetary unit. During periods when the group risked failing to meet vehicle handover timelines or expenditures exceeding limits, Jolene Macintyre intervened to resolve all offstage complications, serenely managing every aspect without eroding group morale. Numerous installments showcased Jolene Macintyre folding her sleeves, personally disassembling components, even undertaking the most strenuous physical labors, affirming her as a female undeterred by involvement in a male-prevalent sector. Viewers will eternally recall the instance when Jolene Macintyre and Chad Hiltz presented jointly at SEMA, one of North America's grandest bespoke automotive gatherings. Observing Jolene Macintyre in the group attire, partnering with global associates, and assuredly showcasing engineering feats on air contributed to altering views on females' positions in the discipline. That gathering signified the initial occasion she gained genuine acknowledgement from veteran specialists and premier worldwide labels. In notable installments, Jolene Macintyre consistently preserves equanimity amid stress. Whether the group contends with unforeseen malfunctions, manufacturing timetables interrupted by absent materials, or interpersonal disputes, one of the most circulated sequences digitally occurs when Jolene Macintyre persuaded Chad Hiltz to modify a blueprint overnight to fulfill a patron's cutoff. She exhibited resolve while upholding a cooperative ethos, energizing the group to exert maximally until the final instant. Those segments have endowed Bad Chad Customs with distinctive allure on unscripted programming where audiences are captivated not solely by completed vehicles, but also by the process of surmounting hurdles, 11th-hour impediments, and the sentimental peak of presenting a vehicle precisely punctually. The portrayal of Jolene Macintyre motivating colleagues, distributing the burden, commemorating minor triumphs, or discreetly alleviating emergencies evolved into a hallmark feature of the series. Jolene Macintyre frequently engages in fervent discussions with Chad Hiltz regarding tactics, monetary matters, or engineering selections. Her straightforwardness, preparedness to express opinions, and capacity to advocate her stance have garnered spectator admiration. These exchanges never undermined the unity within the collective off-camera. Jolene Macintyre invariably strives to heed and settle disagreements so that all can concentrate on the shared objective. Many segments record her addressing enthusiasts directly, elucidating the fabrication procedure and conveying the authentic difficulties and merit of the bespoke automotive vocation. Certain of Jolene Macintyre's remarks have become viral on networking platforms and are frequently cited in automotive aficionado discussions. For instance, you have to be ready to do everything if you want to achieve results you can truly be proud of. Her candor, integrity, and expert demeanor have resonated with the collective. Through all these feats, Jolene Macintyre has not only fortified her position in the bespoke vehicle sphere, but also demonstrated her capacity to penetrate every obstacle. Simultaneously, each victory introduced heightened demands as every choice and deed was observed and evaluated by millions across the globe. As the program's fame escalated, the labor regimen became unyielding. With fresh initiatives accumulating successively, Jolene Macintyre discovered herself directing a full sequence of endeavors, preserving brand perception, and ensuring fabrication aligned for both broadcast and digital platforms. This twofold obligation allowed scarcely any opportunity for her private existence, encompassing budget oversight, contract discussions, patron support, and initiating novel enterprises, all burdened heavily upon Jolene Macintyre's frame. Even while serving as the group's sentimental pillar, demands originated not only from labor, but also from spectator anticipations and responses. Adherent numbers on digital networking sites surged, accompanied by an influx of remarks from all angles. Amongst thousands of encouraging notes, there existed also severe criticisms and even individual assaults aimed at Jolene Macintyre. Her competencies, guidance approach, or intimate existence habituated to emanating an optimistic facade. She could not fully evade the weariness of being anticipated to be impeccable in every circumstance. The weight of upholding triumph and embodying an exemplary figure for females in engineering occasionally compelled Jolene Macintyre to exceed mental thresholds. In a private contemplation, Jolene Macintyre openly confessed that for 8 years she had channeled all her vitality into her profession, frequently disregarding her genuine sentiments. Ongoing successes did not assure tranquility as the greater her renown, the more every error or brief pause transformed into a subject of communal discourse. These demands amplified as digital speculations and hypotheses regarding the group's inner workings. Her association with Chad Hiltz and inquiries about fiscal authority and direction increased in frequency on discussion boards. Throughout this era, the incessant workload generated tensions that Jolene Macintyre could not invariably disclose, resulting in her sensation of entrapment at the core of a vortex beyond her command. Concealed by the million-dollar statistics of Hiltz Auto Company were numerous arduous resolutions on finances, planning, personal concerns, and label safeguarding. Jolene Macintyre needed to reject acquisition proposals and ambiguous alliances, opting instead to advance the enterprise via a viable route and uphold moral principles and fundamental ideals. Occasionally, she had to silently tolerate and conceal instances of fragility to sustain a robust appearance for the group and supporters. At communal gatherings, Jolene Macintyre upheld her expert grin, persisted in motivating youthful females. However, past the illumination were restless evenings and a feeling of isolation even amid prosperity. Renown provided prospects and significant milestones. Yet, the expense was substantial regarding psychological welfare. With universal attention on Jolene Macintyre, locating moments for herself, her authentic emotions or even basic individual requirements grew more difficult. The ascent to the pinnacle morphed into an endless competition, and the loftier her elevation, the more challenging to decelerate. Though Chad Hiltz and the group extended assistance, Jolene Macintyre could not dispel the sensation that she occasionally battled solitary in the maelstrom of attainment. Psychological tension not only interrupted labor, but also influenced her individual connections. Although Jolene Macintyre and Chad Hiltz persisted in collaborating, extended durations of strain occasionally necessitated adapting their operational manner, and for an interval they even reduced their broadcast engagements. The fabrication crew proactively intervened, reallocating responsibilities to afford Jolene Macintyre greater latitude to concentrate on her psychological state. These encounters established the basis for Jolene Macintyre's route of recuperation and revitalization in the subsequent phase. This evolved into the juncture when she commenced authoring a fresh narrative for herself, selecting equilibrium and serenity over pursuing external benchmarks of accomplishment, the Odyssey of Revival. Following a phase of depletion and extended mental struggles, Jolene Macintyre deliberately resolved to alter her method toward both existence and profession. Her healing procedure was not confined to retreating from perpetual camera exposure. It initiated with emphasizing psychological wellness, reestablishing individual principles, and cultivating sounder routine practices. Her musings, such as opting to exist in the moment rather than under duress, to genuinely experience comfort, not merely project it, disclose a profound transformation in Jolene Macintyre's outlook as she acquired lucid recognition of her personal boundaries and the entitlement to repose. In this interval, Jolene Macintyre retained her crucial position at Hiltz Auto Company and concentrated on broadening numerical material via YouTube. She personally directed the erection of the novel Italier, advanced her individual label through electronic commerce avenues, and vigorously arranged product initiatives. Daily, Jolene Macintyre, together with Chad Hiltz and the remaining group, persisted in creating recordings that motivate millions of observers globally. Although she no longer featured perpetually on broadcast, she continued as the planning nucleus, synchronizing every significant and trivial endeavor from fabrication scheduling to label administration. Past fabrication duties, Jolene Macintyre assigned increased priority to societal linkage, engaging in prominent global bespoke automotive occasions such as SEMA and the Grand National Roadster Show, embodying the persona of the contemporary female in engineering. She often disseminated her individual encounters and narratives about surmounting anxiety, energizing youth pursuing their interests despite obstacles. On numerous instances, Jolene Macintyre stressed the significance of internal harmony for enduring triumph, conveying the directive, choose love, rest when you need to, and be gentle with yourself. The connection between Jolene Macintyre and Chad Hilt stays firm, with both laboring intimately and presenting alongside in many extensive initiatives. They collectively strategized to evolve the novel idiom into a local for worldwide guests, partnered with distinguished coating manufacturers and broadened collaborations to nations including Australia, Finland, Sweden, and California. Though they have preserved much of their private existences confidential, Jolene Macintyre has uniformly upheld reciprocal regard and motivation within the group, persisting as an exemplar for females electing to reconstruct their existences post-crisis. Her revival odyssey extends past individual recuperation. Jolene Macintyre has embarked to motivate the broader society. She has featured in countless dialogues imparting her existence doctrine and the tenet of treating others as you wish to be treated, propagating optimistic vitality to thousands of females seeking incentive to conquer difficulties. This metamorphosis has not only aided Jolene Macintyre in reclaiming command of her existence's tempo, but also converted her into a primary beacon for the emerging cohort and bespoke automotive devotees universally. Millions of adherents on networking platforms, hundreds of thousands of affirming remarks and authentic tales of endurance and recuperation have validated Jolene Macintyre's novel function not merely as the intellect of bad Chad customs, but as an emblem of steadfastness amid turbulence. The consistent strides Jolene has made along a route replete with obstacles result from a youth molded by endurance, principles embedded from an early age, and an instructional setting that nurtured unyielding resolve across the years. An origin propelled by zeal. Born and nurtured in the modest community of Canning, Nova Scotia, Jolene Macintyre originated from a laboring household where persistence, diligence, and integrity were perpetually prized foremost. Her guardians toiled relentlessly around the clock to sustain their offspring, embedding in Jolene an impetus to ascend through her personal endeavors. Lacking affluent benefits, she charted her course prematurely, directed by a zeal for acquisition and a regimented perspective. From 10 years, Jolene Macintyre devoted hours investigating mechanisms' functions, repairing domestic objects manually, and experimenting with apparatuses. Initial involvements that established the groundwork for her subsequent engineering inquisitiveness. Jolene Macintyre's scholarly path commenced at regional institutions where she uniformly shone both scholastically and in athletics as a vital participant on her institution soccer squad.